Hey everyone, Zero Cool here. We're talking about Pocket Dimension. Pocket Dimension is coming up next week. We got some more information today from the blog post, which goes ahead and gives us just just a few bit of information, but nothing special. So the bigger thing would be, it starts next week on Friday, basically less than 7 days from now at server reset. So it's basically a small version of Dark Dimension. So they really didn't do too much but copy and paste, but they did switch up the abilities on certain things or something like that. So, but you got to use, their special trait of Resolute. So there's certain characters out there with the Resolute trait that can be used for this, and it appears that, hey, you're gonna have to use these characters to go through it. And the bigger thing would be, hey, if you don't got some of these characters now, it's not going to be too much of a I don't want to say punch in the throat, but if you got a couple of them, that's great. For my particular roster, I do have Omega Red. Not a lot of people out there do have Omega Red, but Omega Red can play a vital role. Cersei did come out. A lot of people did get Cersei. If you don't got Cersei, it's no big deal. She does rewind time, but you need to have like a 5-character roster to go through it, and to go through it successfully. Some of the nodes we'll get to in a second just to see for it, but some of these characters out there are older and they do have some viability. So obviously Misty Knight for Heroes for Hire is a very, very good character. Multiple Man, yes, I would say is a very good character, especially for here, since there's going to be a lot of characters going through. You need a lot of sustain, and if you can go ahead and get more, since he's got taunt on his clones, the clones will take the brunt of the attack, so that way at least some of the attacks will go towards the clones. Shuri gives defense up, but she hasn't been too viable, and her sustainability isn't too great as she once was. Same thing with Star-Lord. Star-Lord is a good energy battery, and he can go ahead and give more energy to an adjacent target, but you got to make sure that he does get his special off a lot more than most, and his sustainability isn't what it used to be. So I would focus more on rework characters, or the big one would be Spider-Man Miles. He just got a big rework for the Web Warrior team, so he's going good. Red Skull can bring in some actual Hydra minions in there that could take at least a hit or two away from your other parts of the team. Groot doesn't have a lot more. He has some sustainability, especially with the actual death proof that he gives off with the special, so that could play a role. Black Panther's more of a he can attack, but he's not that great. Doctor Strange, he can heal and he can go ahead and flip some effects, but he's got no sustainability to keep on going. If you do have She-Hulk, she can be a decent battery, and she can take a few hits, so that's pretty okay. Yondu just got a rework for the Ravager team, and he brings in some minions too, so that could take, like I said, that could help with the sustainability of him, and if you can keep him going, that would be great. Storm and Magic, they're good together only because of the charges that Magic gives Storm, so she can go ahead and hit harder with her ultimate and special. So if you're going to bring in Storm, you kind of got to bring in Magic. So if you didn't get to unlock her, that's okay. Storm's okay by herself, but at higher levels. And with Scarlet Spider just coming out today, that would be the big thing. If you can get Scarlet Spider and have Spider-Man Miles as well, at least they'll have some synergy there to go ahead and push forward. Now, when we look at the actual lineup for the raids, it does kind of line up with Dark Dimension 1. It's essentially the same characters. They basically just copy pasted, here you go for Dark Dimension 1, and that's basically going to be it. But however, you got the Resolute trait and you get different rewards. So with Dark Dimension 1, you only you got certain gold and gold fragments. With the actual Pocket Dimension, you're now getting gold, training ore fragments, some silver promotion credits, and at least some character shards for Scarlet Spider, and they do increase over time, but it's nothing humongous, and there's nothing that's going to get you put in there. Plus, you get to do it twice, just like a normal Dark Dimension, so you get to go ahead and do the actual Dark Dimension run and then a timed run again. So twice you get to go ahead and get at least What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So basically 20 shards. And they did beef up the characteristics of it. So if you do see some of the stats based on them, so we got Korath right when you jump in. Same thing with the first node. We'll see Korath here. Their health and damage is a little bit offset, but they do got it. It's basically based on the star level that they're giving them, and it does increase over time. So some of the earlier nodes will be a little bit less difficult, but once you get towards the end, the Ultron node, that's going to be a totally different bug here, because over here on the Dark Dimension 1 side, their health is pretty hard, but their damage and armor is not really that big, and they don't got any ISOs for the last Ultron node on the Pocket Dimension. Wow, there's seven yellow, 4 red for each of them. Their damage is significantly increased, and they almost have blue ISO, which is going to give them an added bonus there. And if the best thing to do would go ahead and knock out any raider or any skirmisher, so no actual ISOs get out there. So focus on the bigger ones that are looking to go ahead and get it, like the raiders and the skirmishers. So this could be a very, very easy event, or it could be a difficult event because of the fact of the blue ISO and that they increase their damage significantly a lot. You know, these nodes here, this Ultron has only 366,000 for health, but the damage is 34,000 compared to what it was in Dark Dimension 1. The health was 879,000 and the damage was only 6,500. So it was a very, very big jump. So don't underestimate those final nodes. Don't underestimate how quickly you can do it. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some kind of significance with the timed run. So the faster you can do it, the better. But with the characters that you have, you kind of got to sit there and beef up certain characters to get it with that resolute trait. So we don't have some humongously big characters, but the big one that would help would be Cersei with rewinding time. You go ahead and knock off speed off of characters, and it could help. So if you don't got Cersei, you don't got Omega Red, the bigger thing would be focus on Misty Knight, focus on Multiple Man. Some older characters would probably be Miles and Groot. And if you can bring in Yondu or She-Hulk to help for sustainability, if you get Scarlet Spider by that time, he can help with Miles. Storm and Magic are kind of a team, so you got to kind of bring them both in. So looking at it, there's a couple characters you shouldn't focus on. There's a couple characters you should, but it is based on your current roster with the Resolute trait. So hopefully this turns out to be a really positive event. The last event, Avengers Tower, was pretty interesting. It was a little bit difficult for mid-gamer players like myself. The higher end players probably got a lot further because we've seen those points were high. But here, the newer players, the smaller TCP players, mid-gamer players, we're going to have to actually put some thought into it and figure it out, since they did change up. You know, they didn't change up the lineup, but they did change up the stats. And adding ISO to the characters can put in some additional difficulty, but if you got some characters out there and if you beef up your characters now, you can go ahead and probably rock to this event. So hopefully everything goes good. Hopefully Pocket Dimension is received well. I'm hoping its difficulty does play a decent role in it, but we're just gonna have to wait for 6 days. But you got 6 days to beef up, plus you got, you know, the Fresh Horizons event that's in right now that can go ahead and help give you at least some extra gold, some extra training mats and stuff like that, and Scarlet Spider if you can complete it by then. There's another video for that. You could check that out too. But till the next video, hopefully everything goes good. If you can, like, subscribe, comment, do what you can. But hey, Pocket Dimension's coming. We got 6 days. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully everybody out there can increase their roster. And until the next time, deuces.